I'm 6'2". I started at 545.9 pounds. And now 3 weeks later, I just got on the scale before this interview. I'm down to 506.6 pounds. That's a 39.3 pound loss in 21 days.
You're rocking. Hi, everybody. My name's Chris James. Today we are throwing a curveball at y'all. We've got Jamal GetRight. And this whole video, this whole situation right now probably shouldn't even be happening. But I was inspired by Jamal's video. I think he was on day 5 of his weight loss journey and his wellness journey. And I was just talking to my team about how I wanted to expand the interviewees on the channel to people who are beginning their journey, but also people who are doing things necessarily like outside of like the fasting community and working with us exclusively. Like I want to see what people are doing in other parts of the world to lose weight. And if we can create like some resources, first of all, we'd love to learn more, right? But also create some information about how people are doing things outside of our community. I wanted to give you guys some fresh information. So thank you for coming on, man. It's a pleasure.
No, pleasure's all mine, my brother. Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me. And like you said, it was only 5 days in where you saw me. And I think I got the email from your team after my 8th or 7th day in. I had like 800 subscribers at the time. So obviously I know your channel, because if you know anything about fasting, you know this channel. So after 8 days of me having 800 subs, I'm like, you want me to interview with you now? Like already? Give me a year or something. Give me a couple of years to get my feet wet. I'm like, already? Okay, cool. So big ups to you, man. Big shout out to you for even wanting to have me on your platform and giving me the time of day so soon in my weight loss journey, because I'm really at the beginning. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, like I mentioned to you earlier, and I've been doing this for a while now. I've seen a lot of people succeed. I kind of have figured out what helps. It's part of the reason why we have our programs and stuff. And one of the things that I've noticed that people lack in their health and wellness journey is accountability. One of the reasons I was drawn to your channel so instantly was because I'm like, yo, he's at the beginning of his journey. He's creating a channel around his weight loss journey. That is a form of accountability at the highest level. You're putting your experience on display for people to see and to criticize, honestly. And it takes a lot to do that. And so I don't know, it was one of them things. It was like an energetic thing. It felt right.
Mm.
So we're gonna dive into it, figure out a little bit more about you, your history, why you're even attacking this goal. And then, of course, I'd love to find out how you plan to accomplish what it is. So, first of all, do you want to just give us some statistics, maybe height, weight, and just tell us where you're starting?
Sure. I'm 6'2". I started at 545.9 pounds. So
Wow.
big heavyweight. And that
Yeah.
was exactly 3 weeks ago. 545.9. That's what was on the scale. And that's
Okay.
exactly when I started my weight loss journey on YouTube. So everything I'm saying, by the way, before I even go on, is all on my channel, Jamal GetRight, at Jamal GetRight. So you can see it. I'm not capping. 545.9 is where I started. And now 3 weeks later, I just got on the scale before this interview. I'm down to 506.6 pounds. That's a 39.3 pound loss in 21 days.
You're rocking.
Rocking on, rocking on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
all
Well,
going well.
that's man, you're a big guy. You're a big
Oh
guy,
yeah.
but you're also you're pretty tall as well. Um, did your height? Because I'm thinking like, how did you get to the size that you're at? Did your height play a role in hiding your weight? Because I know for us, we're so big, we're so tall over here. We'll be 400 pounds. My brother was 400 pounds, but he just didn't look that big. Do you think that played into it at all for you?
Partially, but I'll give you another statistic, which I forgot to mention. My waist at the start was size 70 or 72. I actually can't remember. It was 70 or 72. So I'm not a guy that can go into the store and pick up regular clothes and just put it on and walk out and walk to the beach like it's
Gotcha.
cool. Like it's in the clearance aisle at the back where all the large people get their stuff all from special shops. So
Mm.
I just wear sports clothes anyway. So I'm definitely a big dude, but I also
Okay.
have a lot of muscle mass underneath me because I have a history of playing sports. I used to play American football for a few years. I played it in college and I played at a semi-professional level in Germany for a little while. So I've got a lot of muscle mass. I used to bench quite heavy, used to squat heavy. I was always the strongest on my team, stuff like that. So a lot of muscle mass
Mm.
has a lot to do with it. So I still have a broad upper body. So it's not like
Yeah.
I'm round all around the midsection. I have a broad upper body, so it kind of masks it a little bit and makes it look like, wow, this guy could be a wrestler type of thing, more than this
Oh,
guy's
for
like
sure.
type of thing. So yeah,
Yeah. I got them vibes from you. When as soon as I saw you, I was like, oh, it looked like he used to play sports.
yeah,
My brother Steven, he was a center. He
shit.
was ranked, I don't know, like he was ranked like top 50 if I remember,
Ooh.
in this, in his position back then. Got a
Mm,
scholarship to, play football and stuff like that, or at least he
mhm,
got an offer. I think he ended up taking a scholarship for vocals, for
mm,
singing.
mm.
But that often kind of plays into it. Tell me about the culture of being, I mean, semi-professional football player with your size and you being one of the biggest guys on the team. Was there an encouragement for you to be, bigger, or were they trying to get you to cut your weight? What was that relationship like?
Honestly, neither. Nobody ever told me anything. I was back then. This was like 10 years ago, by the way. Back then, I was so uneducated about nutrition and health and weight. Looking back, I'm like, why didn't anybody tell me anything? I would
Mm,
just do whatever. All they focused on was the training, was the drills, the practice. No one ever told me about nutrition and health, and I wish they really did because I'm very, very fascinated in nutrition nowadays. I find it the most interesting part of weight loss and weight gain. So, but back in the day, I was just doing me. Like I was just a
mm,
big guy. I like to eat food, and I had no education about the right things to eat. Looking back, if I could do it all over again, I'd do it a lot different. So, I was just doing me, and I just happened to be the biggest guy on any team I was or any classroom I was in, and that transitioned to quite a good work ethic as well. And I ended up, getting the opportunity to play semi-professionally. So, hope that answers that.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm curious to know, and we're gonna dive into the past a little bit more, but I am curious to know, like, as far as where you are today, do you deal with like any joint stress or anything like that, maybe coming from the weight and the drills and things of that nature? I'm just curious.
No, I never took any serious injuries, fortunately, in the time I played football. Nothing lingering. As far as the
Okay.
weight goes, the main thing that I've been dealing with, especially on this weight loss journey, has been lower back pain. I still have it to a slight degree now, but it's so much better, as you can imagine, when I was 39 pounds heavier. So
Right.
for the start of this weight loss journey, I've just been focusing on home exercises and even some chair-based exercises, and that's just because I don't want to go to the gym yet, and more so I can't go to the gym yet. I'm not gonna be picking up no squat rack and doing no deadlifts with a bum back. I'm
Mm.
not crazy. I'm gonna take
Right.
my time, heal up right, wait till I feel like I'm good and ready, and then I'm gonna go to the gym and hit it hard, get swole. So that I'm just taking my time, easing myself in, just doing home exercises. I've got some dumbbells over there. They're only 5 or 6 pound dumbbells. That is all I'm lifting, no more than that. And as soon
Okay.
as I feel ready, it might not be till I'm about 450, even 400. That's when I start getting hitting the gym hard. But it's just been a lower back pain, which is probably quite common whether you're a big guy or not a big guy, or a big woman or not a big woman. It's just something people deal with. But I've noticed that it gets better the lower my weight goes and the cleaner my health, my diet gets as well. And it's if the pain was 100% before when I was 545, now it's about 30%.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so I got another 30% to lose, and then I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, it is common for weight to cause lower back pain, which just makes sense from a physiological standpoint. Um, I would like to kind of look at maybe more of like your upbringing, because you had mentioned that you don't really have too much education. Well, you didn't have much education about nutrition.
Mhm.
Um, would you like to tell us where you from?
Yeah, sure. Born and raised in London. I wasn't raised in like the ghetto, but growing up, my mother, and our family, we didn't have a lot of money because I was raised by my mother. I didn't know my father growing up, like most
Okay.
other people from.
Yeah.
And so my mother raised me. She did the best she could. I got an older sister, and I actually have a twin brother. So it's probably the first time most people are hearing this who support me,
Oh,
but a twin brother as well.
well, that's what it's all about, man. We love authenticity, and you
Yeah,
know what I mean, just getting to the nuts and bolts.
sure.
Does your I'm just I just found out you had a twin. So how is your twin's weight? How's his
We'll
health?
get into that. I'll get into that in a minute.
Okay,
Oh,
all right, all right.
I'm gonna get to that.
So, what was your eating habits like as a child growing up? Because I think we probably had a similar upbringing, but like,
Mm.
what kind of did your mom cook? Were you guys eating out
Yeah,
a lot? Were you?
no, we ate out probably once a week, which was normally a Friday. But for the most part, my mum cooked not almost, pretty much every day. We had cereal. It was always cereal for breakfast, sugary cereals. Looking
Mm-hmm.
back, I'm like, I would never eat that, but it was always cereal and milk or water if there was no milk left. And then for lunch, she'd make us like sandwiches with some crisps, maybe a piece of fruit. And then for dinner, it was normally like meat and rice and a little bit of salad or a little bit of vegetables. So, the cheapest you can get is like chicken and rice,
Chicken.
bit of
Yeah.
salad, or some corned beef and rice, which is another
Mm-hmm.
thing we always had. Because we didn't have a lot of money, so it was normally something that was like a cheap protein source and a bit of rice and some salad or coleslaw or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we'd always have snacks in the cupboard as well. There'd always be crisps, and I'm from the UK, from London. So over here we like biscuits, we like scones. Some of you might not even know what that is if you're in America, but we was always like snacks in the cupboard. Um, there was always like juices in the cupboard as well. There was fruit as well, so there was the options. Like we did have choices, but you tend to just pick up the stuff which tastes the best, innit? It's got all
Right.
that
Yeah.
addicting ingredients in it. So loads of times, in the night, me and my brother would just be sneaking upstairs and getting chocolate bars and sneaking back downstairs and having midnight feasts like it's something cool to do, eating in the
Mm.
middle of the night when mum's
Yeah.
asleep. Not yeah, we was very uneducated about nutrition and it.
Man,
Yeah, I don't know
that's how we
if
were
there was,
too.
yeah, I don't know if there was any other way to know because we didn't have YouTube back then. We didn't have. Probably we had textbooks in the library, but ain't nobody go and read no dusty books in the library. Well, we just don't do them things. But now we've got so much access to resources of information and communities like yours who we can even connect with and exchange information. And there's just like no excuses anymore. And now I just find it so fascinating. And I've come so far from them days that I just can't even go back.
Yeah, that's it,
Mm.
man. That's the attitude right there. It's all about lifestyle change. A lot of people are really just focused on the weight loss. That's why I like doing these interviews and these deep dives, because you get to understand that yes, we want to get the weight off, right? It's going to help you feel better. It's going to help you move better. It's going to make you live longer. But by the
Yeah.
same token, you also want to focus on lifestyle change so you can maintain and also have a high quality of life as you age. um,
Hmm.
you mentioned the lack of education and just options available to learn this kind of information, but there were some outlets that were projecting imagery and information on us through our cereal boxes, through posters on school or different shows we would watch as children. They were manipulating our minds, so it wasn't like we didn't have any nutritional information. It was just that it was all controlled and bad, you know?
Yeah.
Like the commercials were informing us, but they were giving us bad information.
Yeah. Like they'll tell us, eat bread. Bread is good for you. Fill up on whole wheat bread. Now I'm just like, I ain't eat no bread. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And yeah, I think, do you know, I think it's a lot worse nowadays than it was back then. Because now they know people are getting smarter. So now they have to outsmart the people who are smarter. So I'll give you a perfect example. Anytime I go to a store, we got different stores to you, so I'll just say a store. They'll have like a bowl of pasta, maybe chicken pasta, and in big bold text it will say high protein. And I'm like, if you look at the ingredients on that thing and look at the macros on that thing, that is mostly carbs, and it's got sugar, and it's salty, and a whole bunch of preservatives, and a whole bunch of BS. That ain't protein. That is nonsense. They just take the one element that people think like, oh, it's high protein. Yeah, protein's good. Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I heard on YouTube, protein. So then they go buy it. But you have to really, they're getting really clever because they know people are getting clever. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll start to out clever the clever people. So you have to really deep dive into it and know what you're doing to really know how to look after your health properly when it comes to nutrition.
Absolutely. And that's kind of why my channel exists. When I was going through my personal health and wellness journey, I saw so many pitfalls. The one example that I like to use, which is huge here, is the alkaline water. Because
Mm,
Dr. Sabi was talking about drinking, spring water and eating alkaline food, and people picked that up and were like, "Well, alkaline water, alkaline food, boom, boom, boom." So now the water companies started manufacturing these high pH waters, which these aren't what Dr. Sabi was talking about. Like, it's not the same product. And so
yeah,
people are drinking these high pH waters thinking, now I'm not going to say that they're necessarily bad or worse than something else. There's some benefit to it, but it's not
yeah,
what you think. And there's
yeah,
a better water source available.
yeah. Purified filtered water, isn't it?
Yeah, man, you want to make your water at home, and you want to know
Yeah,
what's in your water. Anything extra added to your water, you do it yourself. If you want to increase the pH naturally, or through the sun will naturally increase the pH of the water, not to
yeah,
9.7, but it
yeah.
will increase. So you could take your water through a process to make it more hydrating. All
There's
right,
even a
so,
web.
huh?
Sorry to cut you off. There's even a website. I think it's called findaspring.com.
Oh,
Do you know about that?
no,
Yeah.
no.
I think that's the name, don't quote, but I think it's called findaspring.com, and it shows you all of the local springs around the world, like springs from the earth, whether it's a hot spring or a cold spring. It will show it to you if it's safe to drink from. So you can literally get some glass jugs, get in your car, drive to your nearby spring, fill up your jugs, and now you got the purest water you can get. So knowledge is power, man.
That's the best stuff right there, man.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, back in the day, when we built our towns, we would build our towns next to live bodies of
yeah,
water, right?
yeah,
Like, we understood the necessity for water, not just for our personal wellness, but like for the crops and the animals and everything. The way of life has to be centered around water. So
yeah.
it's good. You obviously are tapped in, because
Mm.
I've never even found a website
I'll
like
send you
that.
the link after. It's. I could give you some examples of things like that. I'll give you one more example. So people are starting to get more educated on plastics. So the BPS, people know, okay, BPS is bad. So now a lot of the time you'll see different types of plastics advertised containers, and it says BPS free. But what they don't tell you is that they use a different type of plastic, which is, I think it's called BPA. And BPA is basically the same thing as BPS, but they don't say BPA free because people only know about the BPS. So
Yeah,
what people haven't caught up yet. So like I said, they're trying to outsmart the smart people. But the real smart people know you got to get glass because you
right,
can't mess with glass. But
right.
this glass is expensive. The companies are just here to make money. So they say BPS free, BPS free. But they use a different type of plastic, which people don't know about. So knowledge is power, man. And I just find it fascinating.
That's actually funny. So over here we have the BPA.
Yeah, I
Ours is
think I got it
BP.
the other way around. I
They
think
just
it's the other way.
flipped it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Man,
Knowledge.
they really take us for fools. But
Oh yeah,
you're
they
right,
do.
man. Natural materials is the way to go. Whether it's wood, plastic. I mean, there's certain steels or certain metals that you could use for different results.
Mm,
Clay, which is what our
mm,
ancestors would have used probably more often than not.
yeah.
These types of materials aren't going to leach harmful chemicals into the body, things that are
Mm,
unnatural that can't be broken down. And the
yeah.
microplastics thing, like, the microplastics are crazy, man. I
Yeah.
mean, you get the little plastic fork from the Chinese spot. I'm sure it's the same thing over there. The little plastic fork,
Yeah.
the containers. there was a video that just came out recently. Somebody was talking to somebody. I don't know, but they were saying, "Oh, so now those little cup of noodles, the styrofoam cup of noodles, now they're using a different material. They're using paper now, so they're microwavable. Like you could put the cup of noodles in the microwave, but people have been
Mm.
putting the cup of noodles in the microwave since they came out. So
Mm. Mm.
so not
Imagine
only
that.
are you getting the harmful chemicals from the microwave, but then you're also getting the harmful chemicals that are being manufactured from you putting styrofoam in the microwave. It's insane,
Yeah,
you
it
know.
is.
So you basically were eating probably what you would consider a standard diet over there, and you pretty much just ate whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
Did that come with? Did you have issues with weight early on, or was this like later
Yeah.
on in life?
No, no. I was from as early as I can remember. I was always the biggest person in the class. Not one time in my life have I not been the biggest person in the class. I was always either the tallest or the second tallest, but I was always the widest. So
Mm,
my mother would give us food, but I would always eat more than everyone else, and I'd always get extra food and get extra snacks. And then by the time I got into school, when I got older and I had my own money, when I had some pocket money, that's when it really started getting bad because that's when it was even less controlled in the house, and I could just do whatever I want. Over here in the UK, back in the day more so, chicken and chip shops are very very popular. Fried chicken kings and fries in particular.
mm.
So they're so cheap, and they were even more cheap back in the day. Like you could get, in terms of dollars, you could get like six chicken wings and some fries for like $2.
Wow.
And obviously, I know inflation's crazy now, but back in the day, it was like that. So you got $5 in your pocket, you getting two of those bad boys. You
Yeah.
get a piece with it, and the sodas, of course, the sugary sodas. So it got really bad when I started to get into school and I could buy my own stuff. And then over the years, put some weight over the years. Um, when I got to my early 20s, that's when I started getting into football. I lost a bunch of weight. I lost about 140 pounds at the time because I was about 400 pounds. I dropped down to about 270.
Mm.
That's when I got into football, got into athletics. So I wasn't particularly eating healthy then as well. It's just that I was training every day, sometimes 2 times a day. And I was partying at the time as well, going out and enjoying myself. So I was always on my feet, always doing something.
Mm.
But then once I stopped playing football, and around the years after that, and particularly in the last about 3, 4 years, like after during the pandemic era, that's when delivery apps got really popular
Oh yeah.
over here. Yeah, that's when people stopped going out. Period. Even shopping, when people used to drive around to get shopping,
Mm.
that all stopped. Got like, even when I would eat junk food, I'd at least go to the store to buy it.
Right.
Now I just click some buttons and go to my door and open the door. Hello, hello again. Nice to see you again. Boom. Start tucking in. So
Yeah.
that's when it got crazy. Was the last 3 to 4 years. That's when I got into the £500 range. It's them damn delivery apps, man. They're cursed.
Yeah.
It just makes things so easy and convenient. And I think that's what the majority of people's weight gain comes down to. It's just because of so much convenience. It allows us to be lazy, and naturally we're just gonna gravitate towards that. You know what I mean?
I know exactly. It's funny. Like now that you're saying this, I think about how many people have told me how harmful those delivery apps have been for them, and it's almost
Mm.
like the unsung pandemic because it created an influx of obesity around around the world, or at least the countries that have those apps available, and nobody's really talking about it except you might hear it from an interview like this. But like
Mm.
I interviewed Justin, and he was he was over 400 pounds if I remember correctly, and he told me, I mean, he might have been 500, but he told me, yeah, man, I was on them delivery apps. I think he said he was spending. I might be conflating these stories, but anyway, somebody was telling me that they were spending 500. It might have been Deontay, but $500 a week on delivery apps. $500,
Me too.
man.
Same here. I could show you receipts, man. Especially them Chinese, man. 'Cause them Chinese expensive, bro. They keep putting the prices up too, man. If you think I don't notice, boy, I see it.
Yeah,
Then when you get the Chinese, man, that bill goes up.
yeah.
So
Well,
I've definitely done that more than one occasion.
people love the convenience, like you said. It's a gift and a curse, our modern society and our technology, because it makes us lazy. I remember
Yeah.
talking to my grandfather, right? So
Mm.
my grandfather came up in the era where TVs didn't exist, and then he got to
Yeah.
see TVs and see the evolution of TVs, right? And when the remote came out, I remember him talking about how it was just making us lazy. I'm just a little boy.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, he's tripping.
Yeah.
But
Can't
I
even
always
imagine it.
remembered that. And then as I
Yeah.
saw technology progress, I saw how every innovation made people to the point where you remember, like, the era we grew up in, you would lose your remote control and you'd have to find it. You'd have to move the couch, and that was at least some kind of exercise. Now you just get your
Yeah.
phone and you just do it
Yeah.
from your phone.
Yeah.
You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
um, what was the relationship like with other people with your weight? Actually, I got two questions.
Sure.
That was the first one. What was your relationship like, as it related to, just interacting with people, like self-esteem? Like, how did you feel about yourself with dealing with that weight?
In school, I was pretty liked in school. Like, I wouldn't say it really affected my relationships in school
Mm.
so much. When it comes to self-esteem, the main issue that I've always had is I sweat a lot quite easily.
Uh,
So in school, I'd always turn up to class sweating. And I know people would be saying stuff like that in my back. Sometimes you could tell.
mm-hmm.
I'd all be sweating like crazy. So that was the main thing.
Okay.
Um, as far as like being bullied, I never got bullied. Like I could beat everybody up back
You're the
then. So
biggest guy.
no,
Yeah.
when you're the biggest, toughest guy, nobody messes with you. So
Yeah.
there was that. So it wasn't really a big thing, and that's part of the reason why I never felt any type of way, because I never really felt any shame. It was just like it was normality.
Mm.
And as I said before, I had so little nutritional and fitness education that I couldn't do anything about it. No way. I didn't know how to. Like, even if you would eat stuff which you think is healthy, it turns out it wasn't. Like, you could get, I don't know, you'll get like some crisp or something that says low sodium crisps.
Mm.
Okay, well, it's low sodium, but it's high fat, it's high calories, but it says low sodium. So, oh, that's good. So even when you buy stuff, you like low fat chocolate bar, low fat, but it's high in sugar. So I just didn't have the education back in the day, so it was just like normal life.
hmm
So it never really affected me in that sense, but it's mainly like I'd always be sweating everywhere I go, and that kind of bothered me a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to getting that in check.
Oh yeah, and that'll happen for sure. The
Yeah.
the other question I had was related to the first weight loss journey you
hmm
had, where you lost the 140 pounds. How did
hmm
you do that? How'd you lose that? How long did that take you?
That was, I think it was a year and a half. I remember back then feeling so proud of myself, like a year and a half, 140 pounds. Now I'm just like, man, that's slow. What took me so long? When I look at the way I'm doing now, but obviously that's still a big accomplishment. But the way I did it was I got into sports, and I got into partying, and being a person in my 20s,
Mm,
doing what a person in their 20s does. And so naturally, the weight just started to come off. You start to feel more conscious about your appearance, and the way people perceive you, the opposite sex perceives you. And yeah, the weight just came off from just being active all the time,
mm,
playing sports.
gotcha.
Um, didn't have all the money in the world either, so I couldn't really eat a bunch of food anyway. So it just started to slowly come off over the year and a half. Again, I didn't even really know what I was doing. It just kind of happened. I was in the gym every day just because I was playing sports, and that was just what you do. And I quite enjoyed going to the gym as well. So it just naturally peeled off. But as I said, once I stopped playing, because I still didn't have the nutritional education at the time, weight came right back on, and then some went ballooned up to 550 over the years.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. You remind me of a story, um, something I went through. So when you like, I got kind of kicked out of my house, not really, but kind of like pretty much got
hmm
kicked out of my house at like 19. I wasn't. I lived with my mom for probably the majority of my adolescence after my parents broke up. And then after I graduated from high school, I went to go live with my dad just for a year because he had two younger babies, my brother and sister that I didn't really know. And before I went to college,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to try to build some type of relationship with them and just spend time with the family. They ended up
Mm-hmm.
moving while I was there. I wasn't visiting, but what I had just got there. I just got a job. I was just supposed to be there for like a year just to
Mm-hmm.
meet them. They moved and they were like, "Yeah, you can't come." Now
Oh,
that's a whole nother story, right? But
sure, sure.
so my pride, so my dad, well, it was really my stepmom at the time. She was like, "Look, you can either go back home or you can get your own place," right? My pride wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
let me go back home because it
Mm-hmm.
it felt like some type of defeat. It felt like I couldn't take care of myself or whatever. So I ended up struggle
Sure,
busing it and
sure.
got a roommate, but I was broke. Like I was making
Mm-hmm.
$7 an hour working at Walmart, and I had no
Mm-hmm.
prep time. Right, it wasn't like I got to save up money. I was
Yeah.
18. I just
Mm-hmm.
turned 19, and so I was eating like I would get a pack of chicken, those patties like chicken patties, and
Mm-hmm.
a pack of bread, and that's what I would
Mm-hmm.
eat for the week. So
Hey, that's good right there, man.
you know what I'm
Carbs, protein,
saying?
and some animal fat. Good.
Yeah.
Nah,
So I naturally lost weight. And then I,
yeah,
I went through another phase in my life where I was working two jobs. I got in over my head. I got a little
yeah,
success, made a little money, and then I lost the job that was making me the
yeah.
money, but I had to still maintain the lifestyle I created. So then I was,
Sure.
doing
Image.
landscaping, not eating well because I was working pretty much
Mm-hmm.
24/7. I had like a few hours to
Mm-hmm.
sleep in between jobs. So I didn't
Yeah,
even really have time to eat for real. And I lost a lot of
yeah,
weight during that time too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
sounds like a similar kind of story there, not having a lot of money, not having,
yeah.
really much else to do except lose weight.
See,
Like,
that's a
you know, all right.
see,
So
that's the thing. It's
go
sorry,
ahead.
go
Go ahead.
ahead. Yeah, just to kind of go along with what you said. When I've gained the most weight, it's been when I've been in this situation, the exact opposite of what you just said. It's when I've had an abundance of money and not a lot to do. So I'll just be eating out of boredom and because food tastes good, that is kind of because them ingredients are addicting. So yeah, it's been literally when I've gone up to 550 is because I've got a job, got a home office job, and it makes me pretty good money. And because I work at home, another reason we'll probably talk about this later, but the main reason I've gained so much weight is because I don't have to be accountable. I could sit at home just fine, make my money, get my income, and get paid online. I don't have to go nowhere. I can eat. Nobody's going to see me. It makes no difference.
Mm,
So that's one of the main reasons why I've even created this YouTube channel, is because now there's resistance.
yeah.
Now there's friction. Now I'm being seen. I'm being tracked. I'm being monitored. I'm being analyzed, and I purposely did that because of my work circumstances. Because I don't have to see anybody. I could go. There was weeks where the only person I saw for weeks was the delivery driver who was bringing me my food.
Yeah.
So now I've created a situation by using YouTube as a tool to create friction and make it difficult for me to just be a shut-in and not care about my appearance and my statistics. And that's why I think I'm having so much success with this channel,
Mm,
because I created a community around that situation.
powerful. And man, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
that I've never heard you say that. I literally I
mm,
watched one video, but that was exactly what I thought when I saw your channel. So I picked up on that. You know,
mm,
this is an important. I want to make sure to highlight this because we talk about other reasons why people gain weight. We talk about lots of other reasons, but this one right here is kind of more unique. I think a lot of people, this can resonate with a lot of people. One of the things I notice is like when it comes to influencers, people who are just in the public eye, as their channel increases, right? They start making more money, they have more fame, whatever. They start eating better. Better can be
mm,
better, just eating steak and lobster all the time. You know what I mean? Eating
mm,
heavy meals, eating a lot more anytime they feel any type of pain in their stomach. They can go eat something because they have so much money now. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter, right? Now,
Sure.
now I'm not saying that that's what you're saying, but it's a similar situation where it's like everything's taken care of. You have an excess of
Yeah.
money. You're not really
Yeah.
doing anything. You're not that active, so you could just
Yeah.
eat. So one
Yeah.
of the keys is literally getting yourself active, because we talk
Yeah.
about going to the gym and stuff like that. Okay, that's one way. Everybody doesn't resonate with the gym, but literally
Yeah.
getting out of the house, creating friend
Yeah.
groups, like doing activities outside will literally
Mm.
take your attention away from eating and
Yeah.
create a lifestyle where you start to lose weight.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know how your interviews normally work, but I feel like I'm taking it in different directions. So I'm sorry about that, but I'm just sort of saying the things that come to my mind. And the main thing for me, why I think this is working so well, is because I'm creating a situation where I have I I'm accountable. That's the main thing. So it's not just about being active, it's about being accountable. Because you can do those everything you just said, but then Saturday night comes and you're like, I'm buying Chinese food and there's nothing to stop you. So what I'm done, and the reason why I'm doing this every day is because I have to be accountable every day. There's no gaps in between. Like I've done weight loss journeys on YouTube before and I haven't been successful. The main difference is now from then is I used to weigh myself once a week.
Mm.
So when I was weighing myself once a week, because you probably know this, but I could lose 10 pounds in a day from water weight. I've lost 20 pounds in a day before, believe it or not. So I could eat badly 3 days or 4 days out of the week. By the time it comes to weighing, I'm still down 4 pounds. I'm still down 6 pounds. And I could keep doing that just fine. Now I've created a situation where there's friction and accountability every single day. There's no room, there's no opportunities to mess up.
Mm.
I have to be on the game, on the ball every single day. So I think that's a very important factor, which I think a lot of people need to figure out a way that works for them. But not everybody's going to be wanting to put themselves out there on YouTube like us. But you have to find a way to create friction and accountability so that you can't just sit in your own circle, in your own environment, and not be accountable every single day, or at least as many days as possible. And then that's the way it gets done.
Uh, Yo, you're 100% right. Friction is
Mm,
important. I talk about friction all the time, man. Especially nowadays, people want a frictionless experience, whether it's relationally, whether it's going to the store, or just like at
mm.
work. They don't want friction. They don't want conflict. They just want to be. They just want to be comfortable. They want to be cool,
To be cool, easy, yeah.
easy. And
Like
the problem is you're never going to grow like that. You're going to slowly deteriorate as an individual. Like, we need that friction. Go ahead.
yeah. Like there's a lot. I'm not the obviously there's a lot of people who do weight loss journeys on YouTube. I'm not the first, but I might be one of the first to do it to do a weigh-in every day. In fact, I think the only other person I've seen do it is a guy called Fast and Fat Man. You may have seen before. He's kind of a YouTube myth at this point. No one really knows what happened to him, but he did weigh-ins every day, and he was successful. He got all his weight off, and that's an element which I took some inspiration from. And I think most people wouldn't be willing to do that because, exactly as I said, you have to be accountable every day.
Yeah.
There's no gaps in between where you can have your cheat day and not talk about it on camera.
Mm.
Because I know if I have a heavy carb meal, there ain't no way I'm getting that water weight
Right.
off. Because we both know when you have a bunch of carbs, you end up having a bunch of water that sticks in your body. So if I have a heavy carb meal, I'm going up 10 pounds the next time I weigh in. And I'm not going to be able to do nothing about it. So I think most people would be willing to do this because you have to be on the ball. But the way I see it, what's the point of doing an accountability channel if you're not going to be serious about it? So I decided from the moment I started, from January the 3rd, that's it. Until I get to my weight loss goal, I'm being accountable and I'm staying focused every single day. And even the fact that it's been 3 weeks and I haven't had junk food, that's an accomplishment in
Yep.
itself. Because I don't think I've ever done that in my entire life as an adult. I don't think I've ever gone 3 weeks and not had bad food,
Mm.
but I have now. And I'm using this YouTube tool as a means to get it done. And I think hopefully it inspires a lot of other people to do the same.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you definitely will be. Trust me. That, Brat, man, listen, couple things. So first of all, I I know that some people need that daily accountability, right? You got to hit that scale every single day and be like, oh, I'm up a pound. Oh, I'm down a pound. And you analyze what you did yesterday to have the result you have today, right? So you also start to learn what you can eat, what you can't eat, what nets you,
Yeah.
a really great result, and what makes you feel groggy or give you brain fog the next day. So
Yeah.
that's an
Oh yeah.
excellent piece. Um, One
Mm.
thing, so I actually had the Fasting Fat Man on the channel, so I know a little bit
Oh
more
yeah.
than most, I guess. Um,
Okay.
what happened with him is he had some personal things going on in his life, and I
Mm.
think that he lost his footing. And
Mm.
I'm gonna just say that I'm speculating a little bit here because he didn't tell me this,
Mm.
but I've worked with so many people. I think he probably started gaining the weight back.
Yeah.
He had a some life some things, not so great things
Mm.
happen. Lost his footing, started gaining weight back, and I think he just said, "I'm out." You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
one thing I will say for those who want to do this type of accountability approach is don't forget to give yourself grace. Like
Mm.
if it's one thing that I've showcased on my channel, it's grace. We have shown ups and
Mm.
downs of people's journeys. People have been on these journeys
Yeah.
for years. It's okay to
Mm-hmm.
be human. It's okay to make mistakes. The accountability piece is super important because guess what? That's going to help get you back on a horse so that you continue to make progress. But you're
Mm-hmm.
allowed to be human. You're allowed to go through things. You're allowed to have ups and downs. It's a wellness journey. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's one of the things I think I learned from interacting with John. So
Yeah.
did you want to tell us? Because I asked earlier about your brother. Did you want to tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. My brother, he was not nowhere near as big as me. In fact, I remember growing up, say there was three pieces of chicken, I'd always take two and he'd take the one. So he was never as big as me, but he's not in the best of shape either. He's nowhere near as educated as me on the stuff as well. My mother's not in the best shape either. In fact, it runs in the family pretty
Mm.
much. So that's also another reason. Getting a little bit deeper into it. This is another reason why I'm even doing this channel. By the way, my mother doesn't even know I'm doing this.
Oh,
She has no idea.
wow.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm doing it like that is because I want to be successful with this, and I want to lead by example. One thing one of my coaches always told me when I was playing sports is I'm a guy that leads by example. I'm not the loudest. I'm not the most charismatic. I'm not going to be the one hollering and screaming, but I get it done, and people see me getting it done, and they're like, "He got it done. Huh? What? How do you do that?" And then they want to know. So that's one thing I think I might be able to help. Not just other people and the people watching around the world, but also I can help the people closest to me that I care about, my brother, my mother, and other close family as well. And what I want to do is get to my goal weight and be like, "Yo, mum, check this out."
Yeah, man.
And she's like, "Oh, how'd you do that?" Check, watch the videos. You want some coaching? I got you. So I want to be able to help other people, and even deeper than that is potentially generations after me. Like one day, my grandkids could be like, "Yo, Jamal, Daddy Jamal was 545 pounds and he went down to 195. This is how he did it," and it's all there. It's all on record. It's all on YouTube. I think that's a very, very powerful thing to not just to help the people watching it. And I love you all, by the way, Get Right Gang taking over, but also the people in my family who are alive now and who are going to be alive in the future. So I take this very, very seriously. It's a very serious responsibility I have, and I'm taking it very seriously. And I'm enjoying it too.
Mm. Yeah, you got it, man. Listen, hey, I'm on your team. Um,
Hell yeah.
I think that was a very challenging piece for me when I started to learn the health and wellness information and try to disseminate that to my family. Because a lot of people see my channel, they think, "Dang, Chris, like you got your whole family." No, I don't. You guys only see
Mm.
the ones I was able to get, right? That's all you see. I got my family's
Mm.
huge. There's a lot of
Oh,
people that I care
oh,
about that do not listen to me, and
yeah,
it was difficult. But leading by example
yeah,
is the absolute best way to do it, in my opinion.
yeah,
And
hundred
I
percent.
think that you're going to be successful in that, man. I love the
Thank
generational aspect of it because oftentimes we just think about here and now, like, Over here,
Mm-hmm.
they call us the microwave generation because we want everything right now. But
Mm.
legacy is the most important thing, and that's where my focus
Mm.
is right now. And I think that's what you're
Yeah.
creating. You're creating legacy. So I am curious to know, what is your goal, like as far as weight loss, health. Like what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish?
Damn good question. So my first goal, my first initial goal is to get to 195 pounds.
Okay,
Starting weight 545, goal weight 195. That's a 350-pound drop.
good.
Down 40 pounds already, but that's going to be my first goal. Get to 195. I'll do that this year. Honestly, it's going to happen. It's not particularly difficult when you know the ones and the zeros. Eat less, move more. Eat less, move more than you eat. Burn more calories than you eat. You'll lose weight. Fine, that will get done. Next goal is I want to tackle loose skin without surgery, if possible. And it's one of the things I really, now that you mentioned, it's one of the things I want to pick your brain about, because I want to see if it's possible to attack loose skin, because you see I already have loose skin, without surgery. Because I think that's one of the reasons I've heard that people don't want to lose weight, is because they'd rather be a little bit overweight than be underweight and have loose skin. I want to see through the processes from like autophagy and gym and collagen and healthy food and a clean lifestyle. Is it possible to actually get rid of loose skin to a satisfying degree without surgery? Because not everybody's got money for surgery. Most people don't. So what goal one is going to be get to 195. Then goal two is going to be to see if I can attack loose skin over the years, and that's going to be and to do that, I'm going to be doing a lot of weight training. I'm going to bulk up, maybe do 215, 220, a lean 250, 220, not
I
overweight
know what
one.
you're talking about.
Put on as much possible. Basically become a athlete bodybuilder type physique. Like I'm 6'2", so I look at Shannon Sharp. Like everyone knows Shannon Sharp from the Cat
Yeah,
Williams
yeah,
interview now. That's basically the physique I
yeah.
want. I'm not sure if he's a clean, if he,
Right, right.
but if he doesn't, that's the physique I want because he's the same height as me. So that's what I'm going to be aiming for. And through processes of autophagy and weight training and good clean diet, I want to see, is it possible to actually get rid of loose skin? Goal one is going to be weight loss. Goal two is going to be weight gain, lean weight gain. And goal three over the years will be attacking loose skin.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man, you got it. You got it. So just briefly, I've done a lot of content around loose skin. It
Mm,
actually is one of the. It's there. I know people who've been like, bro, I'm not gonna lose the weight. I don't want the loose skin.
mm,
Loose skin is a product of cellular dehydration. This is the simplest way to understand loose skin. The cells, the skin cells, are dehydrated. They lose their elasticity. The body is not, really removing the old damaged cells through autophagy. They're not being recycled. You have all this extra protein on your
yeah,
body.
there it is.
Um, the way that you handle loose skin is through cellular hydration and autophagy.
Yeah.
You don't have to have loose skin. Here's the issue that most people have. Number one, they don't believe that. They think it's just garbage. It's not true. I don't know how else to do it. I've brought people on the show that
Mm,
lost 200 pounds, 150 pounds, 50 pounds. I mean, like, no loose skin.
yeah,
And then the people who come on the show who utilize other methods might have a little loose skin, not
yeah,
as much, because there are levels to it. If you do absolute traditional weight loss, which is specifically dieting and exercise, we're talking heavy exercise. We're wearing sweatsuits. We're doing saunas. You know what I mean? We're doing cardio in those sweatsuits. That type of weight loss is going to give you loose skin at the
yeah,
highest level.
yeah,
If you focus way more on diet, right?
yeah,
Like let's say you lose your weight almost exclusively from eating, you're gonna have less loose skin. And then depending on how you eat, you can have less loose skin. So if you do, like fruit, like not just sweet sugary fruits, but literally just if you do fruit as your main food source, then you'll have little to no loose skin. I mean, maybe just no loose skin at all. And
Mm.
if you do fasting as your primary weight loss method with a emphasis on hydration, and you eat, more raw foods, and you eat more fruits and vegetables, and you limit your cooked food, you won't have any loose skin. So
Yeah.
it's a spectrum, and it's going to be based on how you approach your weight loss journey.
Yeah.
But no matter which method you choose, if you keep that hydration level up, you're going to
Mm.
have minimal loose skin,
Yeah.
right? Now, we talked about, getting better water. Obviously, getting water from a spring, that'll be the best way to get your water as far as that, like H2O goes. But the best water is going to be through your plants,
Mm.
your H3O2. So
Mm.
that's like your fruit juices and stuff like that. And the best way to get that water or get that hydration is through eating your water. This is the best way
Mm.
to do it.
Yeah.
So increase your hydration by eating high water content fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
That is going to be the best way to avoid loose skin.
Yeah. So now I've got some questions because I want to pick your brain a little bit. Obviously, you're very, very educated on this subject. You just said that hydration is the key for getting rid of loose skin. So would that mean that dry fasting would be more damaging for getting rid of loose skin, or would it be good? Like, how does that work? Because when I dry fasted, I was dry. My skin was ashy. So how would that affect loose skin then?
Do you do hard or soft dry fast?
I did a 7 day soft dry.
All right, so dry fasting actually, it's akin to the way that the body shifts gears from using the sugar and the food that you may have just eaten as a fuel source, and it switches to using ketones as a fuel source when you start fasting, like water fasting. The body has a similar shift when you do dry, right? And when you do dry, because you're not drinking water or you're not getting water really anyway, the body starts to manufacture water internally.
Yeah.
So dry fasting is an absolute beast for inflammation in the body, because the
Mm.
body will actually go and get that water in the inflammation, and it will
Mhm.
utilize it, right?
Yeah.
But it also has the ability to manufacture water. So I don't know if you're familiar, but there's a group of people called breatharians who
Mhm.
primarily, they don't eat or drink, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes they do eat or drink, but they rarely eat or drink. Like, that's their whole thing. The
Mhm.
ones that do it clean, the ones that do it to the umpteenth degree, they don't eat or drink at all.
Mhm.
Most are going to eat a little bit, drink a little bit, but the reality is they're tapping into the body's ability to manufacture water internally. We also
Mhm.
take water through the skin. So
Mhm.
we've been sold a lie that we're supposed to drink all this water. And I usually
Mhm.
don't talk about this too much because I think it gets confusing for people. But the
Mhm.
reality is, we really aren't supposed to be drinking H2O. That's
Mhm.
not like that's not what we're really designed. Our bodies aren't really designed for that. Like I said, we should be getting our water through our diet, through eating
Mhm.
our water. That's the optimal way to get it. And then you'll absorb it when you go and you bathe. Once
Mhm.
again, you'd naturally be in a body of water, a spring or a river or creek, some
Mhm.
natural body of water. You would go and bathe, and you would absorb a tremendous amount of water that way, right?
Got it.
So that is one of the elements that we're missing in modern society. That's why we're so dry. The air is dry and all that type of stuff. But no, dry fasting actually can be a huge benefit. The key, if you want to use dry fasting, because it's superb for weight loss, you
Yeah.
want to make sure to hydrate really well when you do eat. If you
Mhm.
go to, drinking coffee, eating a lot of meat or fried foods, especially processed foods, refined sugars, it's going to sap you, it's going to dry you out, and you'll probably develop loose skin. If
Yeah.
you dry fast and you're eating primarily fruits and vegetables,
Mhm.
raw, your
Mhm.
skin's going to be incredible. It'll eliminate loose skin. So
Mhm.
it depends on how you approach it.
Sure. I appreciate that because I know a lot of people who are going to be discovering my channel will be finding out about dry fasting for the first time because I've got a video on that, which is quite abundant,
Okay.
quite clear. So that's really good information. I have another question I want to pick your brain on, and this is just a theory of mine that I want to run by you. So when I get to 195, I'm going to start bulking up, might put on 20, 30 pounds of muscle. My theory, which I've never really researched properly because I can't find information, but my theory is, say I've got a lot of loose skin on my chest, right? So if I, for example, put a lot of focus into building muscle on my chest from, bench press and stuff like that, when I do my fasting after my gym days, won't my body know to focus? Because I'm gonna be eating not I won't be eating enough protein intentionally because I've got protein on my skin. So what will my body know that it needs protein to recover because I'll be tearing up my muscles to build it and get stronger and bigger? Will my body realize that it has to get that protein from the most abundant resource, which is in the skin? Will it know to get the protein from the actual skin where the muscle is? Same as with my abs, I've got a lot of loose skin on my stomach. If I really start tearing my ab muscles when I'm in the gym doing proper weight training and bodybuilding, will my body be effective in knowing to collect the protein from the epidermis, from the skin, to get to recover it the most efficient way as possible? That's kind of like my theory of how I'm going to attack this loose skin, but it's just a
Mm,
theory. What your
okay.
opinion?
Yeah, man. I mean, you're on the right track. So the one thing that, and I don't like to speak in absolutes with certain things,
Sure,
but one thing that I have noticed, the body has a method, the way it attacks things, first in, first out. So essentially, what you're talking about is some level of spot treatment.
sure,
And I have not found a method to really be able to spot treat. However,
yeah,
you're not wrong in the sense that, yeah, the body will find what it needs to find. It likes to recycle. It's a natural part of our
yeah,
anatomy. So
yeah,
you may not be able to spot treat the way that you're saying it, but by using that methodology, you'll certainly get to your goal. As a matter
sure,
of fact, when you said you wanted to get down to 195, I kind of thought in my head, why? Because the same reason that I told my brother that was 400 pounds, I was like, you need to get down to like 180, 185. You want to, basically what you want to do is strip clean. You'll
mm,
strip clean. You'll get all the protein, all the excess skin and all. You can strip that off before you even start bulking. And
mm,
then once you start bulking, you'll feel back out.
mm,
um, I actually got really small. I haven't done this video yet. I just haven't done it. It just hasn't been the right time. But I got
mm,
really small. People don't know, like, I lost 90 pounds with my weight loss journey. And I learned a tremendous amount by basically walking around like a skeleton for a while, right? Like, your body will subsist off of very little fat. So you can,
mm,
if you really want to blast the loose skin, especially if you're dealing with a lot of excess loose skin,
mm,
yeah, man, you could use dry fasting, you can use fasting to really knock that out. You get very, very trim, and then you
yeah,
could just bulk back up. Now,
yeah,
um, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like, that's the way that I would probably approach. I mean, you can lose. It's better to start dealing with the loose skin now than to
yeah,
wait and do it later. It's
yeah,
harder if you already have a tremendous amount. I don't
yeah,
I don't think you probably have as much as you think you do,
yeah,
because when you deal with loose skin, let's say for example, you start off at 500 pounds, you get down to 200 pounds, and you have 40 pounds of loose skin on you. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
that's a whole different beast, man.
yeah,
That's difficult. That's going to
yeah,
take some time to deal with. But if you do it as you're losing the weight, then you
mm,
won't have to deal with all that loose skin, at the end
yeah,
of the day. So
yeah,
it's a better way to approach it through diet as you lose your weight. Do it now. Like, focus on that now.
yeah. That's what I'm trying to do, and that's gonna be a big part of my channel because, as you said, there's loads of people who've lost weight before, lost a bunch of weight. That's been done, but there's not a lot of evidence and accounts of people who've lost a bunch of weight and and took care of the loose skin. Like even
Yeah.
some of the big channels like Obese the Beast still got a bunch of loose skin on their body. I don't think he ever used fasting. So a big part of my sort of way of adding value to the pool of information and accounts is to actually try to attack loose skin without surgery and see if it's possible to get it done. So I'm trying some stuff like I drink bone broth with extra collagen because you probably talk about that a lot, but collagen is a protein which improves elasticity in the skin. And like I said, I'm intentionally eating less protein per day than I know that I need. And when I start weight training, which I'm going to start weight training basically as soon as my back's strong enough. So it might be in the next few weeks. I'm going to start weight training straight away. And like I said, my theory is that if I start weight training, because I'm not eating enough protein, my body's going to start to absorb the protein from the biggest resource of protein, which is in the biggest organ, the skin. And that's going to start to really sap that skin together and use it to recover the muscles because I'm not eating enough protein to do that. Just the theory. It's just an
Hey,
experiment.
hey,
Well,
push it.
try.
You know,
Yeah,
that's how we learn.
yeah,
You gotta definitely trust your intuition, man. Like, we don't trust our intuition enough. We allow scientists and per books and other people to really tell us what it is. And like you said, there's not very. I'll be honest, man, and I don't, I don't like to come off any kind of way. I'm the biggest channel out there that is talking about weight loss without loose skin. There's nobody that's even close to my size talking about weight loss without loose skin because they don't know how to do it. They're
yeah,
listening to a lot of these traditional sources and they're
yeah,
getting confused. Or
yeah,
people believe that you have to have loose skin, you
yeah,
know? I have seen
yeah,
some smaller channels talk about, you know what I mean? More like personal weight loss channels talk about losing X amount of weight without loose skin. So I'm not saying I cornered the market and nobody knows how to do it, but at this level, no one's teaching it. I'm the only one.
yeah. Everybody teaches weight loss, and muscle gain, the basic stuff, which is fine. But like we said before, I know a lot of people who don't want to lose weight because they don't want loose skin. And a lot of people just can't afford that surgery anyway. It's very, very expensive. So
Yeah.
I want to be the first. Like there's weight loss channels before. I want to be the first guy that loses weight and attacks the loose skin and have it all documented on YouTube. So that really does add a lot of value to the pool of information out there on weight loss and a complete body transformation. That's why I call my channel Jamal Get Right. I used to call it Jamal Get Fit, but I don't want it to just be about fitness. I want it to be about a complete transformation in multiple different aspects, whether it's fitness, whether it's mentality, whether it's the mindset, whether it's relationships, whether it's even maybe a bit of spiritual stuff, talking about faith. Just a complete lifestyle transformation so people can really see the rags to riches come up from
Mm.
the bottom to the top. So that's where I'm going with this. So it's not just about fitness; it's about everything. So I really do value opportunities to speak to people like yourself about subjects which I don't know a lot about of, and so we can really make a difference in the world and put all that mainstream garbage to bed for forever. Because
Yeah.
now we got channels where people can say, well, the mainstream media said this. Okay, well, look at my channel. You can watch the whole journey from start to
Results.
finish. Say
Hmm.
something. You know what I mean? So it's good stuff.
It's all about outcomes, bro.
You're right.
Um, Anecdotal evidence has so much more weight than what
Mm,
mainstream will give it credit for. You would be, well, you probably wouldn't be surprised, but you would probably assume I get so many comments, or at least I used to, not so much anymore, but people telling me that I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know what I'm talking about. Now on TikTok, where I'm new, people will still say stuff like that. You don't know what you're talking about. You can't do that.
mm,
That's rapid weight loss. That's unhealthy. It's
yeah,
like, bro, the proof's in the pudding.
yeah,
I'm not new to this. We've been doing this
mm,
for 7 years. And no one's dying. No one's
mm,
no one's getting what you're saying. If I'm teaching people how to lose 100 pounds in 90 days and they're
mm,
doing it, where's all the bad outcomes? Where's all the negative effects that you claim are going to come from doing that? Like, at
right,
some point, we just got to look at outcomes and be like, okay, maybe what we were taught was wrong.
right. Results matter, and that's why I'm doing my things daily, man. So look, when eventually I'm gonna get exactly what you just said. I'm gonna get those naysayers saying that's impossible. You can't. Okay, we'll go back to video one. Now go back to the last video.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's all evidence. And as I said before, leading by example, not just what I read in a book, not just what a scientist says, not just what the TV tells me, not just what the doctor tells me, things that I've actually tried myself and experimented and got done and have proof to show. So it really does change people's perspectives, and we can really make a difference in the world, man.
Oh yeah, we are. We
Let's
are.
do it.
Listen, man, this has been incredible. It's funny because I know from your perspective, you're like, what, what are we gonna talk about? Like, why are we doing this so soon, bro? This interview was crazy. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that,
Like,
man. Appreciate it.
it's it's gonna do very well, and I wanna definitely invite you to join our community. We've got our AHA Communities platform, and
Sure.
feel free to come and talk about your journey and promote your channel and your videos and things of that nature. Like, that's what I created it for. It's a hub for people just like you to come and inspire others, grow your audience, your influence. Like, use it as a springboard. Like,
Mm,
it's there for that. So we can build off each other, and it ultimately it's helping people, right? That's the
yeah,
goal, to help people.
absolutely. Yeah. No, I always value the opportunities to network with like-minded people, because nowadays it's very, very rare to find people that think on your wavelength when you think a certain way. So I do value the opportunity, and I'd love to be a part of it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I just want to give you an opportunity to whatever socials you have that you want to share. People can find you, connect with you. Like, just go ahead and let us know.
Yeah, my main social is I'm on YouTube. My name is Jamal GetRight, or at Jamal GetRight. I'm also on Instagram. I don't post on there that much yet, but I will be. That's Jamal GetRight underscore Jamal GetRight underscore on Instagram. But yeah, come subscribe to me on YouTube, man. I'm just hit 2,400 subscribers today. Trying to get to 100K one day like you, baby. So
Yeah.
come show your boy some love and follow along my weight loss journey, man. It's good stuff we got going on here. And
Ab-
thank you so much for having me on your platform, James. I really do. Chris, I really do appreciate it.
my
Much
pleasure.
love.
Listen, my pleasure. Thanks for coming on. Everybody go follow him, check it out. Like, oh, by the way, I don't know if this video is gonna come out soon enough, but if you guys catch it, we've got the JR72 coming. It'll be starting January 28th. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to get this video out, but I was like, yo, you know what? Let me just put this in here just in case. Maybe I'll get it out on the last day. If you guys want to join us, we're doing a juice fast. We're doing a juice challenge. We're going to be teaching you guys A to Z, how to start prepping for your juice, how to actually initiate that juice fast. It's a rolling cycle. So we're going to share a little bit about food, what you should eat. It's going to be a 30-day process. We already have 400 people signed up for it. So if you guys want to come join us, that's going to be starting January 28th. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. We will see you all next time.